And here we go.
Welcome to the Great Work Insights Podcast by the O.C. Tanner Institute, the show that features the people, the professionals, the thought leaders, and the coolest companies. And now your host, the man navigating the discussion about the culture, the organized chaos, and the best practices that compel great work, Todd Nordstrom.
It's my opinion, but today I get to talk about what I believe may be one of the greatest consumer products on the market. And when I tell you what it is, you're probably going to agree with me, because somewhere in your home or your garage or a closet somewhere sits a can of it to stop the squeaks, prevent corrosion and rust, and in my opinion, fix just about everything. You guessed it, I'm talking about WD-40. Okay, so plenty of us as consumers are passionate about WD-40. For those of us like me who may not be very handy around the house, the simple product has made us feel like heroes. But it takes more than just a great product to survive more than 60 years as a leader in a category. It takes great people, a great company, or as my guest today would call it, a great tribe. Please welcome to the show Garry Ridge, CEO of WD-40. Garry, welcome.
Hey, g'day, Todd. Good to be here.
I've spoken to you before. I've heard you give speeches, and first, let me say it's an honor to have you with us. I've always not only been impressed with your sense of humor, but also your obvious passion for people, the people side of business. I want to start this conversation today with a challenge to you. Most of our listening audience today they're managers, they're leaders, they're HR professionals, and they're people who basically make people decisions within companies. Here's the challenge. WD-40 is, without exaggeration, a product that is spectacular, so much that it's almost has its own category. What makes a better company? Stellar products or stellar people?
Without doubt, Todd, it's all about the people. If we continue to delight our customers, engage our tribe, and stay focused and deliberate about managing our business, we'll continue to perform well. But the basis is it's all about the people. I learned a long time ago that micromanagement wasn't scalable, and we're in 188 countries around the world. So sitting here in San Diego, there's a lot happens in other places. And over the last 16 years, 17 years, when I've had the privilege to lead an amazing group of people, to a point where our employee engagement is at 93.7%. Every day I just am thankful for the wonderful work that our people do, because they're engaged, they are treated with respect and dignity, they're challenged, and they have fun. So the bottom line is it's all about the people.
Tell the listeners the story. I mean, WD-40 isn't sound like a common consumer name. Tell the story of how WD-40 was founded.
It's wonderful. About 61 years ago in San Diego, there was a problem with corrosion in the umbilical cord of the Atlas space rocket, and the scientists at the then called Rocket Chemical Company decided they would work on a solution to this problem. So they mixed up 39 formulas to try and solve the problem, and then they mixed the 40th formula, and the 40th formula was the piece de resistance. It did the job, and back then probably they didn't have Sharpie markers, but they probably had crayons. They wrote WD, which stands for water-displacing, 40, meaning 40th formula. And that's where it all started. And the product, the great thing about our brand or our product, it's an honest product. Our vision is to create positive, lasting memories, solving problems in factories, workshops, and homes of the world. And so we're in the memories business, and that's what's so important. So it started there, and now, as I said, we're in 188 countries. And this is the best time of our life. Although WD-40 is a very famous brand in the U.S., I'm really pleased that there's lots of squeaks in China and lots of rust in Russia, and we're going to continue to build this brand to a very, very meaningful global brand.
That's great. Okay, so I've heard you on numerous occasions call the people of WD-40 a tribe. What does tribe mean?
Well, tribe means belonging. If you think about a team is something that you participate in to win a situational game, if you will. A tribe is something that you form that is enduring over time. And if you think of the attributes of a tribe, well, firstly, Maslow talks in his pyramid to self-actualization on the third rung about belonging. And I think one of the things that organizations forget is the power of belonging. You and I and everybody who's listening today have either left a relationship, a party, a club, or a family, or an organization because we didn't belong. So tribe is the glue of belonging. And the other attributes of a tribe that are very important, and I learned this from studying the Australian Aboriginal tribes, is that learning and teaching is so important. So in our tribe, learning and teaching are two of the primary objectives of our leadership. And then, in tribes you have things like culture and customs, and of course tribe members are warriors. So, we have these attributes that say we are going to create an atmosphere, a culture of belonging, of caring, around care, around candor, around accountability, responsibility, learning and teaching, and fun.
Love that. Speaking of culture and learning and teaching and being part of something bigger, let's talk about values for a second. To many companies, values are these ambiguous phrases. They're etched in a plaque on a wall in some boardroom somewhere. I have a two-part question here. How important are values to the success of an organization? That's the first part of the question. And the second part is how have you achieved something most companies struggle with? Meaning, how have you communicated those values through every level of the organization?
Well, the first part of the question, Todd, is values are the core to create an atmosphere of freedom. The biggest disabler of life we have is fear, and organizations create fear because of the unknown. So our values are there to set our people free, so they know where they can play. Values are like the riverbanks of a river, Todd. The riverbanks carry the water from the mountain to the sea, and if you didn't have those riverbanks guiding the water to the sea, that pool of water would be stagnant. But on that river, lots of good stuff can happen. You get a river and there's rapids, so there's times when you go through rapid times, there's white water, and there's places by the side of the river where you pull off and can have a time of solace. There's fish in the river and people have fun. So our values give our people the freedom to play and do what we believe is right. How have we embedded them in the organization? We live them, socialize them, and talk about them and respect them every day. In fact, they're embedded as part of our employee talent development program. Every quarter, every employee in the company is asked to share how they have lived our values in the last quarter. So they talk about our number one value is we value doing the right thing. Our number two value is we value creating positive, lasting memories in all of our relationships. So our people globally are asked to talk about how did you create a positive, lasting memory in the last quarter. So values should be written on the most coffee-stained, crinkled, and dirty piece of paper in the organization because that means we're living them. Organizations that make me shiver are ones where I walk in and the values are framed and in the lobby and people point at them and they're not living them, they're just there for show. So our values definitely drive our organization, and in our employee opinion surveys, we measure them, and people just find that they give them the freedom that they need to move from fear to freedom.
And you know what? I think I know you well enough to say that what impresses me is you live under those values as well. You're just not the guy at the top creating those values, are you?
Oh no! One of the core attributes of leadership is the tone at the top, is doing what you say. These values of the company are values that I love of life. Doing the right thing, creating positive, lasting memories, making it better than it is today, succeeding as a tribe while excelling as an individual, owning it and passionately acting on it, and then creating value. I mean, this is what life's about. life's a very special occasion. We can't miss it.
So shared values also lead to a cultural fit. There's a lot of people and companies talking about cultural fit, or they're talking about finding purpose within a culture at work. I want to flip these conversations upside down for a second. The last time I spoke to you, you mentioned that you have been working at WD-40 for 28 years.
Correct.
Tell us why you, Garry, realized WD-40 is the company that was right for you. Why did you just say this is the one?
I didn't know. I mean, I'm not smart enough to answer that question. But I certainly loved the product. My dad in Australia was an engineer, and then I've been working for the company for 28 years. I've been involved with the brand for 33 years.
Wow.
And what I loved about the brand and the product, it was an honest product. It did what it said it was going to do. And when I was approached to join WD-40 in Australia, my dad was an engineer. I remember saying to my dad, Dad, WD-40 want me to go work for them, and I can still remember his words. You can't go wrong with that stuff, son.
Huh.
And that's why I joined them. And then, the rest has been a journey of being given the opportunity to work with people and for them to create great cultures and this is the best time. I've been CEO for 17 years, and I have more fun now than I had yesterday because it's just a wonderful time.
I like that. I like that word, fun. Any advice you would give to somebody who may be listening right now who is A, not thrilled with their company, B, not thrilled with their career? What do you tell people who are they're stuck? They're looking, saying, how is Garry having so much fun?
Leave and go find somewhere that meets what you need to do. I mean, life's too short.
Exactly.
What would they do if they weren't afraid? If you're not enjoying what you do, go do something else. WD-40 is a great company, Todd, but it's not for everybody. Sure. Even though we have an amazing, employee retention, sometimes a culture of accountability and care and candor and fun doesn't suit people. And we've had people that have left our company, and we want them to leave with respect and dignity because they don't like this culture. Yeah. And that's fine. I mean, okay, life's too short. We live in 10-second intervals. Do what you enjoy, and it'll be a wonderful outcome. Zig Ziglar said, "You don't build a business, you build people, and then they build the business." And really, that's what we're about.
That's great. So everyone, in your opinion, has a place somewhere.
Absolutely, they do. You just got to find it. And I guess I was fortunate enough. I found mine 28 years ago.
Yeah. Garry, again, it's just an honor to have you with us today. I have one last question that I'm sure is on the minds of people like me who are realizing that you not only manufacture the product that fixes almost everything, but your words could fix a lot as well. Do you know the CEO of duct tape?
No, I don't know the CEO of duct tape. But, if it's stuck, hit it with WD-40. If you need to stick it, use duct tape.
I think the two of you should meet, and there could be some magic made there. Garry, thank you again for joining us. If listeners want to learn more about WD-40 as an organization, they can go to WD-40company.com. Or if they want to learn more about you and your book, tell us a little bit about your book.
Oh, yeah. I was, again, blessed to meet Ken Blanchard about 12 years ago. We've become really close friends, and about 4 or 5 years ago, we wrote a book together that's been a great tool for people. It's called Helping People Win at Work, and it's really shares the attributes of what we've done here to build an organization that has a 93.7% employee engagement figure, which
wow.
One of the things that really shocked me is the average engagement in the U.S. at the moment is 30%. And last year in the U.S., we as an economy lost about $300 billion worth of productivity because only 30% of the people who go to work are engaged. And if we as leaders and as people who care about people can improve that number, we can make a difference in the world. So the book's called Helping People Win at Work. If the listeners want to know more about it, they can go to my website, which is www.thelearningmoment.net, and there's a link to it, and they can find it there. And it's certainly it's been fun.
Garry, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today.
G'day, Tom, and thank you, and stay awesome.
Thanks.
Would you like to be featured as a guest on Great Work Insights? If yes, we want to hear from you. Leave us a comment with who you are and what you're all about at www.octanner.com. Also, remember to rate, review, and subscribe to all our podcasts on iTunes. Now get out there and build something beautiful. It's your turn now.